Hi folks, this time we are going to talk about Aquila, Cygnus, Lepus, and Eridanus. So here goes. First off, Aquila. Aquila is a Latin word meaning eagle, and it is supposed to look like a large eagle in the sky with two broad spread wings, and then a little bit that sticks out the top, that is supposed to be his head. Now, there's a couple different ways to draw this constellation. I like this one, but you will see it every once in a while drawn like this. I kind of like the whole concept of Ater, that actually it should be Altair, that is the bright star at the head of Aquila. But some people draw it differently. So I will try whenever possible to draw it like this on quizzes, etc. So I just find this drawing a little confusing, but this one makes sense. So you've got the big, broad, spreading wings of eagles, and then Altair, which is one of the brightest stars in the night sky, is the head of the eagle. This eagle is in mythology associated with Zeus. This big majestic bird is associated with the king of the gods. And it did all sorts of nasty things, from kidnapping people to pecking their eyes out. It wasn't terribly noble in mythology, but mythology was kind of gruesome in many places. Cygnus, and I like doing these two next to each other. Cygnus is the swan. Sometimes it's referred to as the Northern Cross because it looks very much like a cross. This is one of those constellations I find pretty easy to see when I'm out on an evening looking up at the stars. Cygnus the swan looks like this big cross in the sky. It's supposed to represent the head of a goose and the outstretched wings, and then the feet flying behind. Cygnus the swan, along with Altair and Deneb, the bright star in Cygnus, and Vega, the bright star in the constellation Lyra, create something which is known as the summer triangle. The summer triangle, if you go out on a summer evening, some of the first stars that you are actually going to see on a summer evening are those incredibly bright stars. Altair in Aquila, Deneb in Cygnus, and Vega in Lyra. And our mind makes patterns out of things, so we have a tendency to connect all three of those with a triangle, and it's referred to as the summer triangle. Now, Cygnus the swan, the story goes that Zeus, king of the gods, was seducing a woman named Leda, and in order to seduce her, changed himself into a swan. I'm stopping right there. Okay, next. Lepus. Lepus is one of my favorites. It's very, very dim. It's hard to see, but I just adore this constellation. Lepus is supposed to be a bunny or a hare. And if you connect the dots, which is what we do in astronomy all the time, looking at constellations, you kind of get kind of a crude pencil sketch of a bunny, where you've got the head of the bunny and then the chest and the back. There's just no little cottontail, and then you get two little ears. Now, Lepus is actually located at the feet of Orion, and it looks very much like Orion is going to step all over her. In some stories, this bunny, Lepus, is being pursued by Orion's dogs, and if you've ever seen beagles chasing rabbits, that happens. One of the challenging things, of course, with this constellation is how is it drawn? You will sometimes see Lepus drawn like this. And yes, you're right. That's tricky. That doesn't look an awful lot like a bunny, but this is the brightest stars. And so don't worry if you go out on a night to look at stars and you can't pick out all of these constellations. It's tough. It's really tough, especially with these dim ones. Last one in this section is called Eridanus. Eridanus is the celestial river. Sometimes it is known as the Great River, and sometimes it is known basically as the river Eridanus. Now, Eridanus is a big constellation, snakes all over the sky. how do you find this big snaky constellation? The way you can begin it is one end starts right by Rigel, which is that lower foot of Orion. And Eridanus is such a large constellation, it actually crosses over the celestial equator and can be seen the southern sky as well. So part in the northern sky and part in the southern sky. That finishes this section. See you then.